It's on!
And we're on. We're here on a Wednesday. It's Disney Parks Talk Live from Laughing Place. I'm the site's co-founder, Rebecca Mosley. And with me this week is our East Coast correspondent, Jeremiah Good, looking sharp in his Roosevelt's Toy Story shirt.
Look, green army men or little green men. Why would I be wearing something like this?
Why are you wearing little? Well, stay tuned. With the various assemblage of Star Wars collectibles, it's our West Coast correspondent, Mike Celestino. Hey, Mike.
I thought about having the stream open with the shot of a back of the chair with my name on it, but everybody's doing that. It's hack already.
And over there, the person who is not my spouse, not my husband. Oh, it's over there, huh? Because I'm flipped. Is not my husband, but my husband's best friend, my brother from another mother, Benji. How you doing, Benji?
I'm good. I'm where the heck am I? I'm in Louisville, Kentucky.
Horsetown, USA.
I almost said Saratoga Springs because I saw the horse, and I was like, "No, wait, I'm not at Disney World. That was yesterday."
That's what I thought. I'm gonna say a quick hello to Donna and Nikki B. Thank you for joining us. We're here to talk a little bit of Disney. If I seem particularly peppy and in a good mood, it's because I just got back from a vacation where I had all things Disney all the time. Got to see the beautiful mini floral that is part of the Women's Month celebration there at Disneyland, and got to go to a D23 hockey night where, of all things, and Jeremiah, you're going to like this, of all things, they honored a fan of the game. So they picked like one of their season ticket holders and honored them. And it was Don Dorsey.
Oh, nice.
Right? So for those of you who don't...
And then he complained about them not using electric parade music anywhere.
So for those of you who don't know, Don Dorsey is credited with giving us the foundational element of parades at resorts where you have the zones that follow the parade as it comes through the park. He also key to the arrangement of electrical parade music as well as Phantasmic. So yeah, so that was a delightful surprise. So just wanted to share it with all of you. Doobie apparently is currently under the San Fran Bay on his way to Florida. In recent news, Disney Parks was showcased during the shareholder meeting in a question to Bob Iger, and we got a little bit of news. Jeremiah, you want to take the floor on this one?
So Bob talked about how he's going to look into making some Figment content, which, when me not watching this, thought, wow, that must have been a response to a question. There must have been... No, this was so pre-made. Like, there was videos of Figment dancing around. I'm very excited. More Figment is always good. One of our team members definitely brought up a good point that there's a nice theater where they could be showing Figment content right next to Figment.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, one of the things that I don't know if Bob forgot or just never knew about, this won't be the first time there's Figment content. He did do cartoons, educational cartoons in the 80s, which, if you can find them, kind of weird. But it's exciting that there is more Figment coming. We would love to see more Figment and a new Figment attraction out here in Orlando. But anything Figment is good Figment.
Every time you say Figment content, I imagine Figment being like, "Hey guys,
hey." I'm sorry, I can't do.
And like him doing the duck lips, like, just want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Kodak.
They're gonna find that old Billy Barty recording that they could never play of him like being very blue and just make all those contents.
I appreciated the fact that Iger has pointed out that throughout his 24 shareholder meetings, 18 of them for which he has been CEO, he's been asked about this little purple dragon 15 times. So I just was like, okay, well, there you go. Celestino, are you a fan of the purple dragon?
Yeah, I loved that original attraction growing up, for sure. I think I had a Figment plush as a kid. Too.
How about you, Ben?
I was thinking about the there was a Figment comic book that came out like a decade ago, right?
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. It was the Disney Kingdoms. I think I actually have mine signed by Brian Crosby himself.
And Jason Grant just did the Little Golden Book, which will become relevant in later discussion.
Little known fact, LP deep dive, the original connection with Ben when we met through the site had an element of Figment because he had Figgy was his name on the message boards long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Mike, jumping over to your neck of the woods, there's been some changes at California Adventure.
Yeah, so the Disney Junior Day Party at DCA has closed. I think they said we're going to get more information about a future show at some point, but they have not released that information yet.
Yeah, I'm hoping for
Is that all we know?
Yeah, that's it. That's what we know. It closed. They said there'll be a new show. We don't know what kind of show. We don't know any additional information. So yeah, there you have it.
I feel like they could cut and paste.
They did auditions for a new show coming.
Oh, okay. Any hints in the descriptions there, Ben, that we've kind of picked up on at all? Any kind of rumblings or no, not yet?
Well, how inside LP do you want to go? So we saw the auditions. I emailed them months ago asking about it. They responded saying, yeah, there's work on a new show. And I totally missed it. And we could have had this story months ago, but I didn't. And
okay.
No, I can no longer pull up the audition. I have no idea. I was like, we already did this. Why is this news? And I was like, oh, because I didn't forward this email. That's why.
Awesome. Okay, so there you go. Deep inside LP. One of the things I love about a trip to Disney parks is when they hype things happening in the world of Disney. In this case, as I was walking Disneyland's Main Street, stumbled on these kiosks, window displays for the current theatrical Snow White, the also Mufasa. But Mike, over at Pixar Place Hotel, they're highlighting some other properties.
Yeah, so there's a second floor gallery in the Pixar Place Hotel. Previously, they had art there from, what was there before that? I took pictures of whatever the last Pixar release was, I suppose. It wasn't Elemental, it was something after that, I believe.
Inside Out 2?
That must have been, yes, because I remember seeing the Anxiety maquette. And this is a similar display for the new Disney Plus Pixar animated TV series, Win or Lose. It's a lot of concept art and then a few maquettes as well. And I haven't watched Win or Lose yet, but all this art was very nice, very pretty, made me want to watch it.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list. Have you caught it yet, Benji?
Yep, it is actually still on my continue watching, and I haven't removed it from my continue watching. So unlike Cameron Hall, eventually I will continue watching. I've caught the first 5 episodes.
Very, very cool. I love this display. It reminds me of the days gone by when we would hit up the animation exhibit there at Studios. Similar vibes to you, Jeremiah?
Absolutely. When they before it became Star Wars, this was the display I'd always go to and we'd get everything. Now they've kind of shrunk down our displays to 1 or 2 cases, sadly, but this looks amazing. And I'm not even sad that they took over the old tea room for it.
I know, right? I love the tea room. If you want, obviously the links to these articles will be below in the description. If you want to take a gander at all these images, kind of close up, take a nice peek at them. Also at California Adventure, they are showcasing items from the current Snow White movie. Mike,
yeah, I took these photos on Friday. I'm told they're replicas, which I didn't realize. I guess it must say it on the plaque there. But I guess they're replicas of the costumes from the film that Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, or however you want to say it, wore as Snow White and the Evil Queen in the new Snow White live action reimagining. You can go see those. I believe they're still there. You went and saw them over the weekend, Rebecca, at Carthay Circle Restaurant in California Adventure.
They will be there through the 16th of April. So if you have a trip upcoming, you'll be able to see them. What you won't be able to see as of April 5th is the Avengers Assemble rooftop stunt show. Mike, what do you know about this?
I'm actually, it's kind of surprised this lasted as long as it did, because the show is very specifically kind of Black Widow tied in with that movie. Like, this villain is from that movie, right? Taskmaster is from the Black Widow movie. Yeah. So it's been a while since that came out, a few years. So they're also doing construction right now, beginning on Avengers Campus, installing all those new attractions. So it kind of makes sense that they got to get all this, you know, the trolley, red car trolley had to get out of the way. The show is getting in the way of the construction. And I always felt like they need to kind of rethink the stage there on that building, so it's a better view from the ground below. So hopefully they will make adjustments to that if they ever do a show there again. But all we know right now is they're building 2 new attractions at Avengers Campus, and the shows with the stunt performers have gone away.
I was gonna say we've seen a lot of these stunt performer shows, just the stunt performer aspect go away. For example, back in November, the Spidey show, the stunt performers there no longer appear as part of that entertainment. And we also had the Doctor Strange Mystic Arts show, or whatever it's called, over closed back in June. Jeremiah, you look like you have something on the tip of your tongue you were going to say.
I'm just sad that we're losing more entertainment. I got a chance to catch the Spidey show, which has now just turned into Friday voiceover, and then the stunt bot go flying through the air, and then the voiceover. But it's a good way to lead into the meet and greet with Spider-Man down in the former area, and it kind of keeps the traffic flowing a little bit better.
I would say, I mean, in fairness, this wasn't like, I'm guessing this wasn't a budgetary thing. It was more of just they needed these people to be one of the 5.7 million people in Avengers Doomsday. So I presume they're going to be relocating to the UK to round out. They'd have a couple more chairs they got to fill.
Speaking of live entertainment, I want to give a nod to the adorable show that is currently appearing adjacent to the castle in Fantasyland. What's that? I don't even remember what that theater is called now. For me, it will always be Carnation Gardens. But they have go ahead, Mike.
Royal Theater?
That sounds right. But they have a delightful retelling of Tangled in the earlier hours of Disneyland Ops, and then transitioning to Beauty and the Beast a little bit later in the day. Really talented cast over there, live piano accompanying it. Super awesome, fun. So just wanted to give that a shout out. Our next item broke this morning. Exciting news coming to Epcot this summer. We've got some kid zones. Benji, I'm going to let you kind of hype this up. What's going on?
So, I mean, there's a couple of things. This is part of a bigger initiative that they're doing to attract young families. So there's some ticket offers, like 3-day tickets for kids are now half off for a period. They're going to do stuff at the resorts, which I think we're going to talk about. But, the idea is just to create more moments for kids, more special moments. And for those old people like me, you might remember Little One's Travel Time, with the Disney Junior concert series, or probably Playhouse Disney concert series. Yeah. But yeah, just taking some sort of quieter places of the park and such as Communicore Hall, and turn them into sort of interactive play moments. They weren't very specific as to how those will look, and I'm sure they will evolve, because obviously once you do those kinds of things with guests in the real world, you want to make sure it meets what they're expecting. But they announced 3 of them: Stitch in Tomorrowland in some form. I don't know if it's going to use his sort of former meet and greet location, Storybook Circus, as well as Goofy and Communicore Hall, and with more to come supposedly. And just as a way to kind of show that, they're trying to make the park simpler and more accessible to families of young children. I think, probably realizing that that's not a place that Universal excels. Even though people, the whole buzz we got when I was up in Florida was people might think it's a kids park, but it's definitely not a kids park. Even the kids attractions are kind of intense. So kind of making sure Disney is accessible to folks that Universal is not really appropriate for.
As part of this, they've also highlighted that the characters are going to be available during those early morning hotel guest hours. This initiative is expected to begin May 27th. So you're looking at that Memorial Day weekend time leading into Labor Day time period of September 1st. So that was,
some people call it Memorial Day timeframe. I call it Epic Universe opening timeframe. And yeah, so and they did seem to kind of want to make sure that, especially during those opening moments, that the characters are much more just sort of like, follow the character into the park, a little less structured, a little bit more old school sort of character meet and greet.
So they're going to have a show in front of the train station first, and then the characters come out?
No. I've seen that show more than you have.
They also, I think this is where I meant this to be. I don't see it in my show notes, but they also have announced that they're bringing more youth-oriented entertainment over to the Walt Disney World Resort, to select Walt Disney World Resort hotels as well.
Yes. So Pop Century, Art of Animation, Wilderness Lodge, and Caribbean Beach. So kind of running the gamut. They said that they tested this with posting hours when posting times when the characters would be in the lobby. And they just say there's going to be more recreation. They sort of say recreation beyond the pool. Very light on details on what this looks like, but trying to make the resorts much more of a destination. Which they were doing a lot of this testing before COVID. COVID kind of moved things away from that. But really, I think almost sort of Disney cruising the resort hotels, whereas, not saying that you're not going to go to the theme parks, but that if you just want to have a relaxing day at the resorts, there's plenty for you to do there as well. So hopefully we'll get more details as we get closer. But
yeah, over the years, we've seen a lot of additional activities, almost like a youth activity schedule, but they tended to be focused on the pool. So my guess is that we'll see it kind of migrate from just beyond all those really fun poolside pool activities that we're seeing, but kind of think along that vein, but maybe just not so water focused. So yeah, I'm excited about these changes. Another announcement out of Florida is the Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. Right? Yeah, that's the name of it.
Yep, that's Lightyear Space Ranger spin. I got to actually play test this yesterday. It's exciting that I will finally be able to hold my own blaster and shoot without having to move the whole vehicle. And so the vehicles will have different colored guns, so you can see that that's green. But if you have an orange gun, it'll blow orange, so you'll know what you can see. And what doesn't read here but reads in person is that there's a green dot, so like you can actually see where your blaster is.
Yeah, it can just, if you really zoom in, you can just make out that sight that Ben is talking about. I also got the impression that there might be some haptic feedback as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Similar to the other iterations of this attraction. Obviously, the one in Florida was the pilot, so to speak. So kind of bringing a lot of the modern technology from that's, in the newer versions of this attraction, as well as presumably the Wreck-It Ralph redo that's coming to Tokyo Disneyland, and bringing it to Magic Kingdom, including a new AA in the start of the attraction, Buddy. Who, I didn't realize, so this is right as you turn at the beginning. I didn't realize how bad the start of this attraction is. It really, I don't know if you went on, if you had Wings or Take Flight or Delta Dream Flight, it had this sort of spinning book that sort of became the spinning disco ball. So I think this is a much better way to start the attraction. You're also going to see digital screens on, instead of having those sort of old school scores. And they mentioned there's some sort of way to like supercharge your blaster. They didn't quite get into the mechanics of that, but we'll see what that looks like.
Will it be if somebody's playing with you at home if they.
Oh man, I loved that.
You realize that's a 20-year-old cut, right?
It's
Oh,
more than 20-year-old, isn't it?
No, it was for the 2005.
wait. I
Very
want
happy.
to know what Jimmy's
Celebration.
talking about. I saw a sign at Pop Century last week and
For
didn't.
for the pool stuff. Rebecca, I just
Yes.
sent into our chat a picture of what currently is the spot where Buddy will be, if you want to share that.
Oh, okay, let me see. I probably cannot because my Slack is not functional on my computer. So I apologize. I can't. If you're so let me see. Let me give it a shot. In the meantime,
Well,
Jeremiah.
here, I can show, like,
Okay,
that
there we
is
go. I'll
the
make you big so
exact,
everybody can share it. There you go.
yeah, that is the exact what you're looking at in that first scene. So yes, anything above that will be an upgrade, and having a new animatronic that, Disney and Pixar worked on to create a whole new character. I mean, this could be the first original Disney park character in decades, isn't it?
They did seem to, we obviously we had a lot of news about what they call like greenfielding, like just brand new attractions, but they do seem inspired by the success of the Country Bear Musical Jamboree, which brought that attraction from a bottom tier in terms of guest satisfaction to a top. I think they said it's either the top 6th or 7th rated attraction at the Magic Kingdom. So seeing that, putting a little bit of investment into existing attractions to kind of make them a little less long in the tooth can really pay dividends. And there's a lot of that. I mean, I used to work this attraction, and there's a lot that
oh, sorry,
is showing its age. Is the flooring in the queue? I think could use some work, and so I'm excited to see sort of a refresh without having to really take away the joy that people have with this attraction.
With that in mind, I stumbled on a old Instagram, because every once in a while when projects like this come out, I start to go down a rabbit hole of Imagineering Instagram. And this one popped up and it hit me. And I believe this to be what part of that kind of creative team on these projects that we've been hearing about today. And I loved it. It's a picture of the Birnbaum Guide taken last year. And it says, whenever I see these books, I think back to my childhood, my parents always trying to maximize our vacation fund. It's emotional for me knowing how special a Disney vacation was to my mom and dad, and how special they wanted to make it for me and my sister. In that way, among others, I was a very lucky kid. There's just a part of me that loves the notion that somebody who's creating the magic now, has this kind of mentality, this kind of sentimentality like we do. The Birnbaum Guides hit me the same way. This, like, I can remember poring over them, and, my mother had the best system. She had it nailed down back in the day before the internet and you could do all that. She would really squeeze every last moment out of whatever trips we took to the parks. I am forever grateful for that, and just I love it. So I
remember every time we go to the bookstore as a 10-year-old, I would go, the first stop would be the travel section, and I would see which new guidebooks, and I get so excited like around October or November, because there was no internet to really tell me about the new like you get new attractions from like Disney Channel stuff, but like the new restaurants or changes. I mean, I remember the big controversy when the Cellier changed from a buffet or a cafeteria to a sit down. And then, going on my little non-internet connected computer and typing out every attraction, the wait time, if it had a pre-show, and creating these different itineraries. The kids today, they don't know how good they got it.
Celestino, do you remember planning family trips like that? Or were you more kind of the just show up and what happens, happens?
I think the latter. Although I think my wife's family was definitely the former. They're planners, and my family is really fly by the seat of our pants kind of vacationer.
I'm married a fly by the seat of their pants family, and it was so hard for me the first time I did a Disney trip with my husband's fam, and they were like, they got there around 11, they left around 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock. They were happy, they were pleased as pie, they had a wonderful time, and I'm just like, oh, I can't. Rope drop to kick me out of the park. What's this? Jeremiah, you were shaking your head. I saw
No,
you.
I'm the same way. I just recently saw my 96 burn bombs that has my original trip planning to Walt Disney World in it. And every October, I'm always walking through looking for the latest, not just because it brings back the memories, but they also either have great tips that we don't know about, or they have these off the wall, stay tuned because this could be closing. And we look at it and it's like, that never happened, or stuff like Copperfield's Underground.
Oh, yeah.
I remember calling 407-824-4321 every day to find out if Test Track had opened, and finding out, as time went on, that I was like a year and a half too early.
I planned an entire vacation around them saying Test Track was opening on October 1st, 1998, and it never did. And they, yeah.
So speaking of opening attractions, we're looking forward to some new shows this summer at Disney Hollywood Studios. Jeremiah, what you want to tell us about it?
May 27th, The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, which I'm finally getting that into my head because I can't call it anything more than the Little Mermaid show. This is one show that I've been looking forward to
that's
since
what most people are going to call it. Most people are not.
No, but just like you, nomenclature is key to me, so I have to know it. This one is something, when they announced that they're putting the Kiss the Girl scene, that really got me excited for this show. So that, and the Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After show. Every time I look at this concept art, I know the building it's going in. This concept art looks like it's taking over the Phantasmic Theater, but it'll still be exciting to see.
Can you go back to the Little Mermaid collage?
Yes.
So they say that these are all characters that will be represented in the show. So we finally have confirmation that Max remains in the Mermaid show.
Oh, that's right. That was very important.
It was very important to me.
Very important.
And I don't how inside LP. I don't think this is under embargo. I think I can say this. So yesterday they had us out to discuss.
Jeremiah and I, our eyes kind of like, we don't know, but go ahead.
To discuss summer at Walt Disney World, and with like the new offers and everything. But they're like, but we don't have dates. And I was like, so you want me to have say, hey, guest book for summer? I don't know if the Mermaid show is going to be open. I don't know if Villains are going to be open. And they're like, well, we're trying to get dates. And then they thankfully, Entertainment at the last moment was able to give them dates, and we now have opening dates. So I'm happy that guests coming, Memorial Day weekend essentially will be able to see these shows. I'm glad that we got this information so people can have some time to plan. So,
hey, Rebecca, what link should people go to if they want to plan a vacation?
Hey, way to go, Jeremiah. I was just about to let people know there are all kinds of ticket and dining offers happening this summer. And to help you in choosing which of these is the best, optimizing your dollars spent at Disney World, we recommend our friends over at MEI, Mouse Fan Travel. As they say, be free vacation planning. They are knowledgeable in all things Disney. They will help plan your family vacation, and they'll monitor and keep an eye on additional savings that may be coming at an opportune time during your trip. Perhaps you've already booked your trip and then a sale pops up. They will check to see if that can apply to your trip to save you money. Also evaluating maybe the dining plan. While it says free dining and that sounds wonderful, perhaps another choice is better. Maybe there's a hotel offer on the other side of the ledger that will benefit your family more. So we recommend that you talk to our friends over at MEI Mouse Fan Travel. We'll have a link in the in the show notes below for you on that, so you will be able to make your plans. Jumping back to the other coast, so Mike gets to jump into the discussion. Tangaroa Tree is being rebuilt.
I feel like this is not working fairly often. The plants are supposed to, the things are supposed to come
Yeah,
down.
last time I was there, I think one of the baby plants came down.
Okay.
So it seems like they need to replace the entire tree from what I read. And they took a scan of it so that they get the exact proportions and design right. And it's going to be gone for a little while, I'm sure, and be back good as new. Although I'm sure there are still people who will be upset that the original is being removed.
I don't even think it's the original anymore.
Is it not the original? Okay.
Yes,
I have a question. When you are removing a tree that is the father of all gods and goddesses, is there like any sort of special ritual you have to do in order to not upset?
Eat a Dole Whip 3 times in a circle. Yeah.
Like, you have to like bury it under, like, I just feel like there's like this. I would not, let me put it this way. I would not want to be the construction worker who has to dismantle the father of all gods and goddesses.
Yeah, Mike, I think I really want to look into it, but I believe when they redid the Tiki Room in the early 90s, they tore all that out and redid most of it. But this is one of those weird, like, it's Disney being preemptive, because as soon as those walls go up and the first person that sees that he's gone, it would blow up the internet. So they're going, just so you know, we're going to take something down. We're going to make sure it's back. Don't worry.
This refurbishment is set to begin April 28th. So if you want to make sure you see the original before it is rebuilt, there's your date, April 28th. While I was at Disneyland Resort, I got to test out a new automated checkout system. This was over at the Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta. As I approached the checkout, they asked me what I was paying with. When I replied card, they said, would you like to help us test out our new system? And I said, of course. And so set your tray down. It's very similar to what you've encountered maybe at an airport, where you set the tray down. Clearly the device is taking a picture or image of your tray. Then you get an itemized list. There's a cast member there to help you if there's any challenges, or if you have a discount to apply, like I do with the annual pass. So very simple. Yes, Mr. Jeremiah.
So I haven't seen one of these in person in Disney parks. I did see one at SeaWorld Orlando probably about a year ago, and this system didn't work worth a darn. Like, every time you would put it down, it would register something else. The poor team members there had to come over and reset every 5 seconds, to the point where I believe they took out the system within a few months of them putting it in.
Well, I didn't see that kind of hiccup when over at Boardwalk. For most people, I will say that there was a challenge with my tray in that I had 2 kids meals, and while it properly gathered up all the items for the 1 kids meal, for whatever reason, the second kids meal, it wanted to break it out into all sorts of individual items, at which point it was like, kids pizza is not an available item by itself. And so they, had to direct me over to the normal queue. I also know that a similar system to this has been tested previously over at the All-Star, and our friend and frequent contributor here at Laughing Place, Gio, said that he used it several times throughout his visit without issue. And yeah, I agree with Doobie. Jeremiah?
Just saying what I experienced. Again, AI will take over the world, so I'm always kind to our AI overlords. But the early days, it wasn't working that well.
Mike, while I'm the one who stumbled on this because they dropped this merchandise after you'd been walking the park, I have to say, I like encountering these merchandise exhibits because the merchandise itself is so pretty. You have any thoughts on the 70th merchandise popping up currently at Disneyland?
Very colorful, but too Mickey-centric for my tastes.
Okay. How about you, Benji? Have any of these items popped up on your shopping list for future visits?
Not yet, but let's just say that when I now think of the 70th anniversary, all I'm going to be able to think about till it starts is the Jonas Brothers.
Yes.
Because that is the strangest. There's nothing like being at a hockey game and suddenly there's 3 different Jonas Brothers announcements for the Walt Disney Company, all on a Sunday night, ranging from ESPN Sunday Night Baseball to the 70th anniversary of Disneyland. So I don't know. It's like they're like the new Eric Boardman. I don't know what's going on here, but they are everywhere.
Well, I believe that weekend also was JoanCon. I saw some of the Disney social media folks there, and they have a Jonas Brothers convention, and they were over the moon that they get to interact with the Jonas Brothers more and more. But it is one of the weirdest, like this one, not really somebody that's on the top of everybody's list of, yeah, I want to hear them sing a song.
So here's once again going a little inside LP. So they announced this Jonas Con, nothing to do with Junior Operatives Networking, I suppose. And I'm like, oh, should we send somebody? Because they have an upcoming Disney original movie from the Disney Channel folks. I was like, oh, it's kind of a lot of effort for one Disney Channel original movie.
Wow, I love it. Okay, by the way, Ashley Carter has a little sample of the Celebrate Happy, apparently. So yeah, here's a little tease of a little bit of it. Can you guys hear that? So there you go. Just a little tease, a little taste of Celebrate Happy from the Jonas Brothers. Benji, we have been to a Jonas Brothers concert together. Any favorite? Yeah, that's right. Any favorite Jonas Brothers memories over the year? Because I have one that sticks out. Every time you say Jonas Brothers, there's a specific moment in time that pops into my head.
So we were in the, when a bunch of 30-year-olds go to a Jonas Brothers contest, you don't exactly want floor seats, right? So we are sitting in the back and at the old Amway Center or Amway Arena, and we are looking straight ahead and silhouetted out of with the lighting of one of like the entrances to the arena is this domed trash can, as if it was the star of the show. Like there was more light on this trash can than on Nick, Joe, or the other one. And it was
Kevin.
How
dare you?
The other one.
So
bonus Jonas, as my wife Tori calls it.
No, that's Frankie.
Oh.
Yeah.
The professor or Marianne?
And so we were joking how like this concert was really all about this trash can. Now fast forward to our next Jonas Brothers concert at the Disney Channel games at ESPN Wild World of Sports, and our complimentary seats we got through working there was, what did we have a direct line on? A trash can. What happens in Camp Rock 1? Nick throws something away, crumples something up into a trash can, and for some reason the DP was just like, I'm gonna focus on the trash can.
Like follow the pizza trash, do the trash can.
So when Doobie, Rebecca, and I go see this new Jonas Brothers tour, in October, we cannot wait to get. I just hope they have trash can meet and greet packages.
That is the first thing that pops into mind. The second thing that pops into mind was the really awkward moment when Nick Jonas got really heartfelt and was sharing his diabetes challenge. And
he was sharing diabetes? What?
So what it was he was playing it, he made some comment like, and I have diabetes, and the crowd, I understood they were offering him their support and whatnot, but it was just this very, fascinating dynamic. So those are our Jonas Brothers. So that
moment was really sweet.
Oh, terrible. Over at Disneyland, as the 70th preparations continue, something's missing. Breaking news.
But they still have the the Jefferson or poster outside.
Jefferson?
Yeah, what's his name?
It's Frederick Douglass.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Moving on up.
Sorry, guys.
A long list of American history before we get American.
Yes.
The marquee is gone.
Ta-da! It is gone. So we are getting ready for the arrival of Walt Disney: A Magical Life. So it will be fun to see that. Paint the Night. We've learned that the 70th logo will appear on the drum, alternating with the parade logo, as well as we're getting the Ice Palace of Elsa. This parade starts May 17th. Dining packages are available at Plaza Inn. So if you want to partake in that, those reservations have opened. So be sure to check that out. Over at Walt Disney World, things that are new, Jeremiah, it's the DVC World.
Yes, the McKim's Mile House opened. We received a preview, and as we walked in, and somebody said, "When does this open?" And then they go, "Well, we were going to save that to the end of this event. It opens tomorrow." So we got a nice tour of this. This is the former location of the Frontierland Shooting Gallery. You would think that this would be a small area. This holds over 150 people in it. It is an amazing, yeah. There may not be enough chairs, but the max occupancy was 168 people on the wall.
Wow.
And it's a DVC lounge. Go ahead.
I was on a cruise, as you know, and while this was opening, and so I went to the DVC member update, and they were talking about how it was McKim's house, and I was like, "Oh, I get it." And she goes, "Like, I'm not quite sure why it's called McKim's house." And I was like, "What? It's so obvious."
So deep dive, and I wrote an article about this. There are some hidden tributes in there. The 3 doors that are up on the top we'll put the link in there, but the last one just says Hoot on the door. I know it as Hoot Gibson, the owl that was there telling the story of the future Western River expedition. Nobody else, none of the other sites, not even the salespeople had any clue who Hoot was. The salesperson that was giving us the tour had to go talk to somebody who had to talk to an Imagineer and go, "What is Hoot?" I'm giving this whole long story, pulling up a photo of when I was 6 years old that I took, and everybody's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "How do you not know that?" But then again, I remember that I'm the Disney nerd.
You're old. That's how you know.
No, even that, like, if you pay attention to the Western River expedition history, Hoot Gibson is talked about a lot. And no, it wasn't somebody that was doing illegal things as some other sites were talking about.
I have to admit that would not have been a reference. I would have had to have looked it up. It would have been like, I should know that, but I wouldn't have just known that off the tip of my tongue. I'm sure Benji knows. I'm sure I would expect you and Benji to know. I would have looked at the two of you and expected you to know, not one that would have been right at the tip of my tongue. But Jeremiah, is that the only DVC dynamic that you've been taking pictures of for Laughing Place?
No, and this one is just strange. The Canada Pavilion has been under construction, I want to say, for almost a year. And we have no clue what's going on there. There have been walls up. The Canada National Hotels, it's that large building. It's had a paint job or 2 paint jobs over the past year. Plus, there's been lots of work. No clue what was going on. And then all of a sudden, DVC announces that it's not a lounge, but it's a sales space that guests can walk into and see the model for the Polynesian Tower room, and then get more information about Disney Vacation Club.
So
we should just warn people that if you buy points, DVC points in the Canada Pavilion, there's like a 25% surcharge.
I didn't say that.
Moving on to other merchandise and things you can buy. We're having some fun in the sun with our Mickey Mouse friends. We've got the selection we spotted actually on both coasts. I didn't know it was new when I saw it. Mickey and Goofy and everybody chilling by the pool or at the beach. I think my favorite part of this is the Mickey Mouse beach ball, whether it's on top of this wine stopper or as this adorable plush.
That plush is really cute. Like when I picked it up to take a picture of it, it's very fluffy and soft. So it was fun. I kind of carried it around a little bit. But yeah, this line is really fun. I'm glad to see that they're doing more of the change with the season lines as opposed to just a standard line each year.
As always, we'll have a link below so you can see it, and we'll be discussing it next week on Barely Necessities. That's that's on Tuesdays at 4 right here on this YouTube channel. During yesterday's show, we highlighted this new jewelry line that's appeared at Disneyland, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see it pop up in a little bit of a different kind of thematic to Walt Disney World. These are jewelry pieces that are priced right around that $30 price point, so not going to bust the budget too big. If you are looking to bring home some more high quality, high budget items, art kiosks have popped up. Jeremiah, you came across a couple?
Yeah, the Grand Floridian added one to their shop, which was interesting because I haven't been in the newer DVC rooms to see all the artwork. And when I asked the cast members, they had no clue about this kiosk or what the art even was. But it is artwork that is in the hotel rooms, and it's beautiful. And then Polynesian just added one, and it has the standard art on demand that you can get at Disney Springs or at the Tower of Terror. But then they have the specific, like at Boutique, they have the Polynesian tower art that's just beautiful.
By the way, those pieces that are in the kiosk there at the Grand Floridian, those are found in the 1800 Park Fair. So it's all those beautiful wishing paintings that sit there above the main dining room. So yeah, really stunning. Very happy to see that those are now available in this art on demand. Looking forward to seeing if we see more of those kiosks pop up around the resort.
Yeah, because the original one for the resorts was at the Riviera when they opened that to showcase all of their artwork, and now it's fun to see that they have moved them back into the hotels for all of their stuff.
Back over to the Disneyland Resort, we're doing a wall update. Mike, what kind of construction have you spotted while you were wandering the resort?
I think I finally got it right when I called this the future site of the permanent Earl of Sandwich location, which I was never quite sure where it was going, but now I understand. It's past the stage, the Downtown Disney stage. It's past the right now with that viewpoint, the new Marvel Avengers store is on the left with the D style, and then the Din Tai Fung would be on the right. This is the former ESPN Zone building that's getting overhauled and I think becoming a few different things. But yeah, that's back at.
I was trying to make my way over to your other pictures.
Sure. And then this is going to be Earl of Sandwich. Yeah, by the new security checkpoint at Downtown Disney.
Todd, let it go. It's not happening. I'm so sorry.
Night Magic is coming back next season.
I forget the rocket rods. I want to know when they're going to finish that entrance to Tomorrowland.
Oh,
yeah, me too.
When I walked by that wall, I made the comment of like, as long as this wall stands, Disneyland will never be complete.
I mean, you must have a moment when you realize that you have to replace a construction wall because it's sun faded with a new wall, that maybe it's time to get moving.
I have been tweeting it more often just to kind of nudge them and remind them.
Because that was pre-pandemic, right? Like that wall went up when they were redoing the entrance.
Yeah.
There are kids working at Disneyland who weren't born when that wall went up.
Speaking of walls, we've got more walls. The Grand Californian Park entrance. Mike,
Yes.
tell me about the walls.
Okay, so you can currently you cannot access the entranceway from the Grand Californian into Disney California Adventure for a construction project that's going on there. Here's some of the signs that are around. Also, the Storyteller Cafe is closed and has been relocated to one of the ballrooms inside the hotel, although it was not open while I was there. They said open at 5 p.m. But it's in the Trillium room. And here's some other scaffolding on the outside of the hotel. Yep.
And if you're concerned about eating, Storytellers has moved that Mickey's Tale of Adventure breakfast and brunch over to this Trillium room. So that's where you'll find it. And Hearthstone is currently offering exclusively for resort guests a breakfast menu, a limited breakfast menu. And they're also offering, they have expanded their lunch menu, but that breakfast, they say exclusively hotel guests from 7 to 10 a.m. So want to let you know that those are available during this. But you spotted some scaffolding exterior too, not just the restaurant.
Yeah, this is covering about half of the front side of the Grand Californian, the side that faces Disneyland Drive. So they are doing some nice refresh work out there as well.
And this closure of the entrance to California Adventure is expected to be in place until mid-May. Jumping over to Walt Disney World's walls, Jeremiah.
Walls. Yeah, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad has been under construction for it seems like forever. But they have tarps, and there are people looking under those tarps, and there's a green rope. This really was like, hey, I'm here, let me take some photos. But I did also get on the train, which was fun to see because you could see them actually working on the town, and they're doing a great job with everything that I've seen with the track replacement. This should rival the Disneyland reopening a decade ago when they redid their Big Thunder. So this will be exciting when it opens sometime next year.
Yeah.
What's that crane in the background there?
That is the trash crane.
It's a trash crane. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if the other photos are there, but you can actually see them. They're lifting so you can see.
They're lifting the lava crawler that's turned upside down, and they're lifting it out of
They're literally just anything that needs to go, they dump in there, and the giant crane lifts it up and takes it backstage.
So this attraction is expected to reopen in 2026 with what they're calling a little bit of new magic. We're speculating we'll see some of those beautiful projection mapping effects that have occurred at Disneyland, but nothing specific has been revealed yet. In the fashion world, Jeremiah spotted a new t-shirt. I don't think I've ever eaten here.
Ice cream?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever ordered ice cream from Gertie. Do you have a memory of getting ice cream there, Ben? I know you're the ice cream guy.
So I did. Only it was like maybe a year ago because I was like, oh my gosh, I've never had ice cream here. I need to do it. And so, I mean, she's so iconic, but I'm like, I better eat here. You never know when things are going to go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, now that she has a shirt, a mug, and a tumbler, she'll probably be scheduled for demolition next week.
Right.
Dinosaur Gerties used to actually have
cement dinosaurs. Can Disney get rid of in 1 year?
No, I know, right?
They used to have soft serve, like a full everything in there, and now it's kind of turned into they just kind of roll the ice cream carts in there. But yeah, the shirt appeared the other day, and it sold out very quickly. And every time that I've gone over there, usually the normal sizes of small to extra large are sold out, and they just have either extra small or 2X.
As we begin to wind down here, want to remind you there is a resort up the road that's exciting right now and getting ready to open new things. And as they get closer to the opening of Epic Universe, they have opened their secondary new resort up there, hotel up there called Terra Luna. sister resort to Stella Nova. So you can check out pictures of that resort. I want to highlight the Magnolia Golf Course because I personally am excited about this, even though I don't golf. Check it out. The 14 through 17, they've really reimagined, kind of retooled these. They're calling it Grumpy's Gauntlet. They've gone through, they've added a little bit more Disney magic here and there throughout the course. They've renamed the holes of the golf course, things like Devil's Eye. So really deep dives, seize your moment. They've got one, I think, called Robber Kitten. So, you know, having some fun over there. You have a mousetrap. Yes, Mr. Ben.
Do they have a Hoot Gibson hole?
No, they didn't go that deep. Here, let me zoom in because you can see. See, we've got seize your moment. Giving up is for rookies. Diamond in the rough. The at world's end. The nice peaceful spot. The mousetrap. I think that's the one with the mouse head sand trap. Everything the light touches. Adventure is out there. And the Robber Kitten. Those are just the front 9. So, hey, lots of Disney fun happening over there at the Magnolia Golf Course. Mike, you have the biggest smile on your face. What's going on?
Just enjoying learning about the golf courses at Walt Disney World. I've never been to any of them.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
My mom's a big golfer.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to send your mom on a trip, and she can tell us about the course. They call it
I'm a
challenge.
big fan of foot golf. Foot golf is my.
We need to do that as a group. What do they call those when your team all gets together and does something competitive? And it's
I think foot golf is out now. I don't know if it's actually still an activity in Walt Disney World.
Yeah, no, it's on the.
They just had a whole thing for us at that.
Yeah,
time.
it's on the card right here. That it's right there. It's just upside down. See, because you fold the card. So there you go. As we wrap up, I want to remind you that springtime is just around the corner. Mike, you spotted Thumper was early.
Yeah, I think this appeared a few days earlier than they had announced it would be available at Disneyland. So I got some pics of the Thumper popcorn bucket. You could get it with popcorn or with a bag of potato chips. There's a table where it's mobile order only. It's in Critter Country, actually, on the path to Galaxy's Edge.
Country.
Sorry, Bayou Country. Oh, man, got to make that adjustment in my brain.
By the way, it wasn't only new at Disneyland Resort. They had it on the cruise line, along with the Death Star popcorn bucket that's coming for Season of the Force, which officially arrives at Disneyland March 28th, Season of the Force. This is a cool popcorn bucket. I'm excited.
It lights up and it shoots a laser and it pops its own popcorn.
No,
it's like a Jiffy Pop.
Oh, now you're overselling. Now you're
and it builds entrances to Tomorrowland.
Yes, Kyle, because I didn't realize that it was new. I just figured it was. I didn't expect the cruise line to be where the popcorn bucket would drop first.
The cruise line is where they dropped the 100th popcorn bucket first, also. So, as I've learned, the cruise line gets popcorn buckets usually at least a week in advance of the release because they stock them.
I like that there's a bunny rabbit, a duck, and a weapon of mass destruction among the popcorn bucket choices there.
Are you referring to the Death Star or the marbles? Oh, sorry. So let's see. We have that's it for us here. We have gone over everything that's happening around the Disney parks that we're going to showcase today. We'll have links below. We'll be back next week with the latest and greatest happenings at the parks. In the meantime, be sure to like our stream if you've been having fun. Subscribe if you want to stay on top of all things Disney. We've got Disney Trivia Live happening here. We have in the mornings a recap of the various headlines happening. Laughing Place keeps you up to date on all things Disney all the time. We've got team moving about the country, here, there, everywhere. And we do our best to let you know what's happening. Jeremiah, anything to wrap up? I'm going to toss it to you, and then Mike, I'll come to you, and then Ben, I'll come to you.
No, Sorry, that was like I have no time to think.
Sorry. If you think of something, just wave at me. Mike, you got anything to hype while we're wrapping up?
Yeah, I feel like we're about to go into this like 2.5 month stretch of nonstop Star Wars stuff, and that starts this Friday, like you mentioned, Season of the Force at Disneyland. I'll be there bright and early all day Friday. Very excited. You'll be seeing all sorts of coverage coming at a laughing place for Season of the Force.
Make sure you take your translator card.
And if you are if you have a friend going to Star Wars Celebration Japan, Mike will be there live and in person doing his podcast, Who's the Boss?
Yeah.
So be sure to look for that on your schedule.
And I have buttons to give away. You can get a free button or a postcard advertising my panel, which will have already happened probably if you see me at the convention. But if you see me before then, I'll give you a postcard advertising the panel. Very excited.
Doobie isn't here because he's on his way to Florida to cover the Dreamers Academy events. That's a highlight of the year that's become a highlight of the year for him on behalf of Laughing Place. So I'm looking forward to reading his coverage of that event. Ben, anything you want to let people know before we say farewell?
Look, it's going to be a busy couple weeks. Expect more news next week, and then we've got a lot happening in April. So I know it doesn't seem like Disney's doing anything this year, but they are, particularly stuff that you may not expect. So stick with us. We've got a lot to share with you.
We're very excited about it. With that, I will say see you all next time. Bye.